Okay, nothing like a couple of small glitches. So it's great to be here. Good morning, DevOps! Yeah! I promised Brian Getz and our good friends at Oracle last night that we wouldn't let you fall asleep before the Oracle guys get on. So we'll do our best to keep you entertained for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So we're RedHat, JBoss Middleware, with our OpenShift friends, and then also most recently, Feed Henry has joined the JBoss Middleware family. We're very excited about that, and we'll give you a little peek at what the implications and, more importantly, the infinite possibilities enabled by that addition to the family are all about. So before jumping into all the geeky stuff and what we're doing in middleware and what new possibilities that are enabling us to make a claim like infinite are all about, we'd like to set some context, right? What are we trying to do now? And the thing that is really exciting about the new possibilities is what it means for the everyday user of an application, right? So we as developers, we're going and banging away a big chunk of our lives at writing code, and what are we trying to achieve? What difference does this make for an everyday business person or consumer's life? And the three things that all of our middleware, all of the stuff that we try to build, to me boil down to a couple of things. We're trying to make everything more immediate, right? More instant, more real time, more responsive, right? That almost goes without saying, but the world today is one of this incredible instant gratification, of immediacy, right? And we all expect that based on our experiences with our iPhones and our Androids and our various devices. We're also trying to make everything more pervasive, right? The applications that we build, it's not good enough to just put it up on our company's website or install, put it in the App Store and have it just be a one-off app. The kinds of things that we build need to be embedded into our partners' applications, need to be embedded into sort of aggregation websites, need to be connected into kiosk-based applications, need to be tied in with other sorts of devices. So pervasiveness, building software, building elements of software whose endpoints really span a much wider universe than in the past is super important. And then aware, right? So making the applications that we build more aware of their users' context and environment, using things like machine learning, right? These are the things that we need to enable and bring to bear for our developers so that you can build applications that have these characteristics. Now, innovating and building these cool, infinite possible future type applications is competing with other concerns in our companies, right? So we all sort of have a day job where we work for some company or building apps that are trying to, generate money and build business. But the IT budgets that we're funding that activity with is competing with all this old stuff. And, the old approaches to innovation can't keep up. This is a highly technical, very accurate representation based on a Hadoop-based, machine learning statistical model. Just kidding. The idea is, we need to make some changes in how we build apps. And there are some great new enablers at our disposal, right? So everybody it's passé to say cloud these days, but it's not just cloud, it's hybrid cloud, right? It's tying in cloud-based endpoints, cloud-based elements of our overall applications with physical infrastructure, with things that run on our own premises that maybe are not yet cloud enabled. Now, there are a couple of much more recent and much more specific developments within cloud technologies that take this to the next level. So there's been a lot of talk, and I think it's still trending as the most popular topic at DevOps this year, Docker, right? So containers, very important sort of evolutionary step in what cloud technologies mean for building applications. Combining containers or sort of Further enabled by containers is the idea of microservices, decomposing your application problem space into finer grained atomic entities which have greater flexibility in terms of how they're developed, how they're life cycled, how they're deployed. And all of that together enables ultimately DevOps, right? A quick, I'll get into it in a second. So we think that these microservices and containers really are the heart of the new platform, right? The new way of enabling futuristic application development, enabling the infinite possibilities. So a quick note on DevOps, right? I don't want to try to, claim the definition of DevOps. It's one of those fuzzy marketing terms that has lots of different definitions out there. But what I want to say is that the aspect of DevOps that informs and drives what we're doing is the ability for the developer to do more stuff in a self-service way and thereby iterate much faster. So it's less just this simplistic notion of developers and operations working more closely together, doing what they always did. They're actually doing different things. The developers are doing more of the things that used to be thrown over the divide to the poor ops guy, and that frees up the ops guy to focus on feeding raw resources into the overall platform, and also allows the developer to just move super fast without being held up by process. It's a people thing, but technology can help this happen. And in particular, platform as a service is the means, the paradigm, the technology layer that we think enables, takes this idea of DevOps to the next level, right? So the idea is that the developers and the ops guys, and in fact the users of the applications, are all going through their own versions of a surface, but to the same underlying piece, right? You're eliminating the silos, the differences of environments from the developing world to the testing world to the runtime world. And doing that well and doing that right is what we see as making this whole idea of DevOps a reality. Now, just a quick couple of notes on containers. So again, you've heard a lot about Docker already. I don't want to dive into a deep explanation. The first value that is often sort of promoted when speaking of containers is this idea of higher density, right? You're able to get much more in the way of workload running on a given unit of underlying physical hardware, just because you're taking a lot of redundant copies of the OS out of each stack. And that's interesting, and the ops guys love that. But as developers, what's significant about that is that your iteration time, your cycle time is so much faster, right? Bad old days of just dealing with provisioning physical hardware, upwards of a day to get that done, right? Now, virtual machines, full-on server VMs a la Amazon EC2, right? That's minutes. That's a matter of minutes to get that sort of provisioned, and even if you're pretty sophisticated with using machine images and Puppet and Chef and all that, there's still a lot of stuff in a server image. A container, seconds, right? We've really, the technology has taken the deployment time down to this almost real-time experience as a developer putting out new components. Now, microservices, quick note on that one. There are blogs and specific technologies and vendors out there that try to tell a very sort of specialized and hyper-constrained story about what microservices is all about. It's fairly simple, right? It's just about breaking things into finer grained components, right? So it's the next generation of SOA. Nobody says SOA anymore, service-oriented architecture, but because we're doing it, right? It's just embedded in the very sort of muscle memory of the way we build apps now. Microservices takes the same ideas a step further, and it is enabled, that idea is further possible because of containers. Smaller, lighter weight entities, faster to deploy, and that in combination with platform as a service makes it tractable to manage and independently and automatically scale multiple entities. That's what's interesting about microservices. Okay, So that's all background to XPaaS, what we really want to get to here, right? Why do we do platform as a service? We all know enterprise applications are complex. They typically have many different components distributed across many different kinds and bits of infrastructure. Platform as a service reduces some of that complexity by standardizing and reducing some of the work to create and deploy those components. The idea of XPaaS is to take PAAS up to a higher level of abstraction, right? To enable higher level services, higher level kinds of capabilities that we're used to dealing with in middleware, right? So things like service buses, things like messaging brokers, things like business process management engines, right? All those higher level things that middleware has traditionally brought to the table to accelerate and make more productive the enterprise app developer's job. Putting that on top of platform as a service is what XPaaS is all about. And not surprisingly, believing in that architecture, we have two whole product lines that we're bringing together to enable and sort of implement, make real exactly that idea. So I want to quickly take you through just a couple of example XPaaS services. And quick aside, if it's not obvious, the idea of the name XPaaS, the X represents these different higher level specialized services. So you have iPaaS, which is integration PaaS, you have BPM PaaS, business process management PaaS, and so on. So integration PaaS, right? So you have your app, you have different services, maybe microservices, maybe more traditional, coarser grained SOA type services. You sort of, as a developer, you set them up, you integrate them, you do your sort of normal integration activity, but through this web-based console with a lot more checkboxes and drag and drop, as opposed to installing on a server, lots of command line hacking, XML file editing, etc. Right? Now, MPAAS, this is where our Feed Henry addition to the family really shines and really adds a significant piece, right? Many apps that are being developed today in the enterprise are mobile first, are primarily supporting mobile clients. And so what the mobile PaaS capabilities add to that whole picture are all of those mobile specific concerns like mobile security, like data synchronization, like push notifications. Right, so the Feed Henry technologies bring a significant addition to our whole picture in integrating those into the XPaaS world. And then BPM PaaS, the idea of operating at a higher level of abstraction, notions of processes and connections of processes and being able to manipulate your application architecture at those macro level types of structures, right? That neatly overlays within this XPaaS world, still being edited and composed through that same web-based PaaS dashboard and connecting into the underlying components that are, maybe endpoint managed by the iPaaS and, mobile enabled by the MPaaS capabilities. And key to making this real, key to this next generation of enterprise app development using platform as a service, using the cloud, using the web, is to unify what is today a very sort of diverse and heterogeneous and frankly messy experience for developers of using all these different underlying middleware technologies. Unifying them in a web-based paradigm that in ways where consistency makes sense allows the developer to interact with each of those services in a consistent way. So it's time now for me to stop talking the sort of high-level abstract, sort of vision stuff, and let's show something concrete. Let's get real here. So I want to bring up my colleague Markus Eisele, who many of you know is a longtime Java community guy, whom we've had the pleasure to welcome to the JBoss Middleware team recently. And he's going to take us through a little bit of a teaser demo of some of the stuff I've been talking about here. So Markus, take it away.
Thanks, Mike. Hello, DevOps. This is insane, guys. It's good to be here. Mike, you know what? You reached my personal resource limit. Absolutely. It's definitely, I mean, we've been talking a lot. Do I get 5 minutes to try to explain it to developers?
I know you can talk fast.
Okay.
You have a lot of ideas, but you're great at data compression, so let's see what we can do.
I'll try hard. It's a lot of stuff that we set up, actually. I had a great team working on a demo to put all of Mike's slides to action, which is something like insane, right? But anyway, what do we see? We have built a mobile app, because that's obviously what we do these days, right? We all need mobile apps for things. And we thought we'd make it a little bit of fun. So the topic that we decided to work on is that meme topic. So, Mike, you're into selfies, right?
Grudgingly.
Okay. What about looking at Instameme? So it exactly looks like that. I don't know if we can see that somewhere. Okay, let me see. So this is Instameme, and we can take a picture. Mike, come over. Let's see if we can do that. We can do that. See. Okay. So hello everybody. Mike, make a funny face. There we go. Right. That should work. So, and I'm actually going to tweet that picture. And it will have... It didn't work. Funny thing. Come on.
Maybe I didn't give the right homage to the demo gods.
You obviously didn't do the right whatever
demo gods.
expression. So let's try it again. So this time only you in front of the audience. Let's see if that works. So that gives a good thing. Fine.
Okay.
Okay. That looks better. Okay, let's tweet that thing. You ever wanted to tell Mike something, right? So we actually tweeted that image, and you get a chance to get your personal meme embossed on it. So it has the number 56, and if you send a tweet with a static hashtag, which is, can we just switch to, yeah, there we go. There we go. It's all going to turn out nicely. So, tweet a meme, DEVOPS, with that static hashtag RHTDX and that number that you see here. And we'll do some processing on the server side and make a funny meme out of it with Mike on it. And while you're busy tweeting, hopefully, so get the tweets going, I'm going to actually walk you a little bit through what it took to make that thing happen. It looks pretty straightforward and easy, and you might think it's something that we could do in a minute. We tried hard. It took a little bit longer. What you see here actually is the Feed Henry project dashboard. So we created an app, which is Instameme in that case, and as you can see here, it has basically 3 parts. So to the left side, you see that we are using a Cordova-based app, which is called Instameme, and that's the thing that you've seen on my phone. Then we have some cloud server-side code on Feed Henry, which is based on Node.js. So the Instameme app has a server-side backend on Feed Henry, JavaScript, fancy, latest stuff. And you see that we actually used some services, like the MBAS services to the right. And we integrated 2 different kinds of backend services in that case. So on the one hand, we used the freshly launched XPAAS, Fuse XPAAS integration. And on the other hand, we used AeroGear as a push service. So I actually got a push notification to my phone that the tweet I just sent out was successful.
And this dashboard here, so this has the client side, the apps that actually get installed on your phone, and so it was developed in this environment, tested in this environment, and installed on your phone. There's the server side piece here, and the services that are integrated in, and this is all in one
environment. It's just one single dashboard, so you actually don't have to leave the App Studio at that point. Let's dig into that client a little bit. It is pretty fancy and cool. So you have a little tiny preview, you have everything that you really need. What is most important at that part is that Feed Henry also has a build farm. So we can really build those applications in the cloud and have it either out in a real app store or have it in an enterprise web app store. And what I also didn't show you so far actually is the Xcode in the cloud approach. So we basically have an editor here, which I should have preloaded, but anyway. So you have a complete development environment for your clients in the cloud. What else do we have? It's still loading. We're not waiting. We're getting over that. So this is the build farm I showed you. You can actually see that I did a build here, and the funny part is we make it easy for everybody. So you have a QR code that you point your phone at, and it get a direct download that you could
download
install.
the app right into your phone, so
That's
without
it.
having to go outside of this environment to some other app store or anything like that. So your fast, iterative development environment is all happening right here in the cloud. Client side, server side, build the app in the cloud, download it, test the server code from your phone in one developer session.
And you even
Cool.
have different environments to support that, like development environments, live environments. So it pretty much captures everything that a developer could want to have. What I did show you is that we use some services. So when I talk about Fuse and XPAAS, to me it was really tough to dig into that parts. And basically, it's a real good combination of productized bits that we've been working on in the open source. One major thing is actually Camel. Another major thing is ActiveMQ. And we've been running both of those things in the cloud. So, thank God. There we go. The backend
Thank you,
Fuse,
demo gods.
the backend actually, what you see here is a Camel route. And we've been tweeting quite a lot. If someone else could send out a tweet right at the very moment, we would see these numbers actually increasing, because all you see here basically is a microservice. So it's a single Camel route, and it is listening using the Twitter Stream API to Twitter for exactly that static hashtag, right? So nothing else is happening here. It's pretty simple. It writes a log. And most interestingly, it pushes something to AMQ. And the AMQ broker that we are running, which also will require me to log in again, I guess. There we go. Is actually also running in the cloud. So, and because we just launched XPAAS for OpenShift Enterprise, those two components actually are the ones that you are running on-premise, that you are running on your own hybrid infrastructure.
So this just came out last week, right? The JBoss Fuse for XPAAS for OpenShift and JBoss AMQ XPAAS service for OpenShift
Enterprise.
Just last week. So we're live with fresh new material here, and a first major bringing to market step in realizing this XPAAS vision we've been talking about.
Right. One little drawback of that demo, Feed Henry is not exactly built into Red Hat and the Red Hat way, so there's exactly no way to try it out at the very moment.
So we just brought everything together. Literally, we closed the transaction 2 weeks ago. The guys have been working night and day to get the demo together, but this is what will be sort of fully productized in the next couple of months. But this is, you're seeing it now for the first time. The demo guys were with us. Feed Henry, Fuse, JBoss EAP, and a whole other suite of services enabled by OpenShift and Feed Henry, all brought together in what we see as that sort of new developer experience, that new developer environment, enabling the infinite possibilities we introduced up front. So
this is actually the second client that we build in. Beside the Cordova-based app, we also have a mobile app, which basically uses the same client APIs and libraries that Feed Henry provides. So yeah, what did we do actually? I mean, at the end it was pretty simple. We have an app that was built with Feed Henry. This app actually captured a picture, sent a tweet out to a defined Twitter handle. On the other hand, we have Camel and ActiveMQ working together, pushing messages towards the Feed Henry Node.js-based backend. So this is actually a stump connection. And the Node.js backend embosses your tweets on the picture and creates a new one for every single tweet that you send out. And it worked. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was that
Markus,
understandable?
It's working, right? And you know, these guys worked for the last couple of weeks to pull this together. So thank you and the team for all the hard work you've done. I know we're a little bit over here, but this is great. Come talk to us at the booth, the Red Hat booth right down here, and we'll tell you more. We'll show you more. We're looking forward to just the exciting new possibilities this will enable. Hopefully we've set you up and warmed you up for the great coming talk by Brian and our colleagues at Oracle. Thank you very much, DevOps. Cheers. Bye.
Mark, Mike, I'm really impressed with this stuff, and so it looks like you have like unlimited resources there. Is that?
Which is basically me, yes.
So we need to talk. Maybe Fox should actually start using that and see if we can scale it on your platform. And you know, if we do, or if we can make this up, we can actually make a very interesting talk because people are interested in like how does it really work, right?
Yep, auto scaling.
You won't be running off, right?
We'll be around. I'm happy to talk more about how to do the auto scaling.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks so much,
Good
Stefan.
job. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Perfect. So up to the next keynote.